All right, good morning, welcome back. So today, welcome to the Homeschool Shopping channel. Today we are doing something a little different. What we're gonna do is I'm going to rank at least 25, 30 programs. I honestly couldn't count them out. I was like, there's no way I have the patience for that, that I have utilized. So they are from, there's one preschool, but other than that, they are kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2. So as you'll see, I'm gonna screen share. I have categories. They're either A+, which is nearly perfect. They are A, which is still great. They are B, which is okay, not bad. And they are D, which is I loathe. And not enough info means there's still something that I haven't done yet. So without further ado, let's get right to it. They are in no particular order, although I have sorted them by category. So right now we are doing language arts. Elemental phonics, I gotta give it an A+. The reason is that it is $10 a book. It's very informative. It teaches your child to read on a very simple way to do it. It is not complicated. It's not overly done. The only thing I wish is in, I want to say book 3, they had a bit more red, but that's just because I love the color. JDA also has videos, I believe, on her channel on how to do elemental phonics. I'd like to note right about now that no one has paid me. No one's given money for this. I'm not getting referrals from it. Nothing. I gain nothing except probably people who don't like me if I don't like their program. So please like, subscribe, and send to a friend. Okay, next up, and I hope that you find programs you haven't heard about before. Next, we're doing All About Reading. All About Reading, I will give an A or a B. It's still good. It's still good. It's just not, it's still good. I found it a little dry doing it, but it's still good and it works for a ton of people. The Good and the Beautiful Language Arts. First of all, the fact that it's free. So I showed you on the screen what I take into consideration when assigning values or grades to this work. My grading schematic, if you will. And one of them is cost. The fact that the Good and the Beautiful, their language arts and their math is free for people, I mean, that gets so many points as it is. So let's see, language arts, I'm not gonna put it, it's not perfect to me. It's between, it includes art in there and art history. So I'm gonna put it on an A. If your child has trouble reading and you've tried a bunch of things and they can't remember stuff and they're just having issues, craft writing phonics is amazing. I'm not going to give it an A+. I'm going to give it an A. I'm torn between A and the B. I guess I'll go A because it is great, but it's intensive. Now, you don't have to do the whole system in order to teach your child to read. I did not do the whole system and it taught him to read brilliantly. We were doing All About Reading. It wasn't as fast as the progression. And so for the next child, I'm also going to use Craft Right Brain Phonics, which brings me to what are my qualifications in order to judge this? First of all, the number one being that I am a homeschool mom. Number 2, I have used all these curriculums. Number 3, you could say the fact that I have a bachelor's in psychology, but really that didn't teach me much. I do have training in coaching and in Montessori. I took Montessori training during 2020 because, I had the time. And then we have also the fact that, I taught education for 20 plus years, but it was adults. Let's go down to something. Okay, Brave Writer Quill. It is absolutely perfect in my mind. Oops, let's put that up there under elemental phonics. It's absolutely perfect. It could not be more perfect if we tried. Why won't you go up there? There we go. No. Okay. I want to say it's for preschooler, kindergarten, around that age. It is brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant, and I think it's worth every penny. And Jot and Arrow, also really good, really good. Now, Brave Writer itself, it's $79. I don't think you need it. I don't think you should get it, and it goes into a D. It is not worth the price. It's not a curriculum. It's just a book that they have overpriced. My opinion, people disagree, but that's just, you cannot change my mind on that. There's 2 programs in here that honestly you can't change my mind on, and that is one of them, and the other one that I don't like as well. Okay, Easy Grammar. Easy Grammar is an A+. Easy Grammar is, the one I used was a grade 1 level, and what I love, so it has basically like day 1, you're learning about capitals, so every day you learn about a grammatic rule or a punctuation rule. And at the bottom of the page, there's either handwriting or copy work or practicing your handwriting. If you want to write it, there's 2 options for that. And I think that's great that they have the dual options. So that to me is an A+. Common Sense Press, all-in-one curriculum. It's my favorite all-in-one language arts curriculum. If your child needs help handwriting, it has literature in there. A lot of language arts programs don't have literature, I've noticed, not that much. They're usually missing some type of element, in my opinion. They're still good. But anyway, this one to me is It's amazing. If I would say a downside to this is that on their website, I can't tell whether it's Christian or secular. And so the first year didn't seem Christian, which is fine. I'm Christian, doesn't matter to me. But I don't like not knowing, and that further up the years they're like, oh yeah, it's very Christian. Well, I find that you should let people know that so that they can see whether it's something that they want to use or not. So that irritates me, but it's still A+ program. I got no problems with it. Progressive Phonics, I want to say that is an A+ program. That is a free program to teach your child to read. It is great. I use it with my youngest. What it is it's like simple stories, but then there's certain words that they read. You read 99% of it, and then they read cat every time cat comes up and stuff like that. So if you want to start to see some progress, it's free. It's called Progressive Phonics. Progressive does not mean politically at all. It's just Progressive Phonics. Evan Moore Grammar and Punctuation. If you'll see up here, Easy Grammar. I loved Easy Grammar and was doing a page a day, and I fell in love and love it even more with the Evan Moore Grammar and Punctuation. It is grade 1. It does a rule a day. A rule a day. I love it. I think it's great. Now we are moving on to math. Keep in mind that there are programs I have on here that I have forgotten. So just so you know, as I was going through, that I have purchased, have used, and have forgotten. Okay. So CTC Math is great. It's $100 for the year for the entire family. It is online. You can choose which lessons you want them to do. It gives you a summary every week as to what's been learned. And then you can choose which lessons you want them to do under, you know what I mean, like which subtopics you want them to learn, or you can just have them learn the whole thing. It's a short little video. And then the guy is Australian, but that does not detract from the curriculum at all. So I would give it an A. I think it's all right. I think it's pretty good. I like that they send you a little thing. I like that your whole family can use it for $100. I think there was a thing where you had to try and find the homeschool price. It wasn't as easily laid out as it should have been. So hopefully they've changed that. Math Mammoth. Math Mammoth, I think it's an A+ math program. It's just very intensive. It is very intensive. Yeah, there you go. But there's no student prep. So that's something, there's no teacher prep. So you're just learning along with your child, and like when you go knee deep in addition, you go knee deep in addition. Like there are a million ways to add things that I had no idea were to do. So you don't have to do it all. My one child that needs more help, we do more. My other child that didn't, we don't do as much. So I've used and still use a couple different math curriculums. Okay, so Math Mammoth, and now Math with Confidence, it's definitely an A+. Is hands down an A+. It is like Right Start Math, which I'm going to put into the B category, because Math with Confidence, Right Start Math, they both teach number sense. Math with Confidence is Spiral and Mastery. It's one of the few curriculums that is both, although you can do Spiral with Math Mammoth, you just don't complete all the questions. Right Start Math, the materials is $300 for the entire family. So one-time purchase, however, and it does take you're just more committed with Right Start Math. You got a lot of games going on, whereas Math with Confidence, you're spending 10-15 minutes playing a game with your kids, and then they do a worksheet at the end. So when you look at Math with Confidence, you look at the workbook. It's not, there's a page a day that they do in the workbook, but that's not their full focus. The activity with you, which takes about 10 minutes prep and then 10 to 15 minutes a game. So Math with Confidence, could not recommend it more because of the price point. The materials, she provides a ton of materials and gives you a lot of ways to get the materials at almost no cost. Right Start Math, that's not a thing that they've heard of. The Good, the Beautiful Math. Okay, so kindergarten 1 and 2, I'd give an A or A+. It's between that. I think it's great. It's beautiful. It's not very aggressive. You learn a lot. It's not very intensive. I think it's good. I hear rumors that once you get higher than that, it's not as great. So I don't know where to put that. So, well, I guess we'll put it as an A. Minimalist Math is, you can find them on Etsy from Research Parent. I've done videos on it and showed you inside. So it's 1 page a day for 36 weeks. So we're doing it right now as a review. A lot of people do it as a review. It's $8, but if you put it in your cart and you wait, you can get it for $6.20 for the year. So I do that to gauge if my son is bored right now with Math Mammoth. He's bored because he is so advanced. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll do minimalism math to see. Now, it doesn't have any explanations along with it. So if you notice your child is not getting fractions, well, then you're going to have to go on YouTube and be like, okay, how do we do fractions, and let a video explain it. So it doesn't have that. But if you don't need that, then that is the way to go. So I would give that an A. Almost an A+ too, because it's just, yeah, maybe an A+. I don't know. We'll stick with A. Campfire curriculum is hands down an A+. It's hands down an A+ because let me compare it to Gather Round. Gather Round's not an A+, so Gather Round is if you have no experience on a topic, if you know nothing about this topic. So they're unit studies. If you know nothing about Alaska, or I don't know if they do an Alaska one, but if you know nothing about rocks, if you know nothing about pirates, if you know nothing about this, you can go to Gather Round and you'll learn some stuff. If you've done deep dives into a curriculum, you know, like say your kid has a passion for pirates, so you've gotten a bunch of books in the library on pirates, you've watched videos on pirates, you're gonna wanna go Campfire curriculum because they have things that you haven't seen. And I'm speaking specifically, I have a few different curriculums from them. The pirate one, oh my gosh, even their Titanic one, like, I mean, I've got a few different from them and they're stellar. I've got the meteorology from them, I got the zoology. They are stellar for, first of all, you pay one price, I think it's $30, and it comes with different books for different levels depending on what age your child's at. Even up in high school, they got one. Whereas Gather Round, no, I think you gotta pay $20 for every age of book you need to do it. And it, again, it's like an intro into it, whereas Campfire curriculum's gone past that. What I also like, now we're gonna stop comparing it to Gather Round right now. Campfire curriculum has a Faith Talks box that you can skip. If you are not Christian, you can skip that box. Some curriculums, it's melded in and you can't do it. This, you can skip it if you wanted to. If you're Christian and you don't, you know, you hold different views, or you're secular and you hold different views, I wouldn't not use Campfire curriculum because it does have that Faith Talks box. And they used to have something for dad to do, which I think that they've gotten rid of that, or just some of the curriculums didn't have it. And I think that's great that they don't have that because, I mean, it was a nice idea. It was a nice idea, but it wasn't a one size fits all. So that's definitely an A+, definitely an A+, definitely an A+. Now, and again, they didn't give me any free curriculum because I asked. I was like, hey, could I borrow some free, like, could I see some curriculum so I could review it? No, they were like, no, we don't do that, which fine. Okay, rabbit trails, I think A, and not yet A. The reason I like Rabbit Trails is because it's simple. The books are great. She has great book selections. I'm a book connoisseur, if you will. I'm obsessed with books. I've always been obsessed with books. If you saw my library carts out there, I have 2 laundry baskets from 2 different library systems. I love books. I love books. I love books. So she has good book selections. She also has interesting activities that do not take a lot of prep. Same with Campfire curriculum, don't take a lot of prep. Her Rabbit Trails curriculums are well priced. The topics they're on, they're interesting. The only thing is the religion is mixed in, and I feel that formatting, if she went back and formatted things just a little bit differently, I feel like it could be in the A+. Just a little bit of formatting work I noticed on a couple of them. Gather Round, back to Gather Round. Again, intro, but beautiful art, but high priced. So I guess A, if you have the money to do it, I like the system, I like the concept. I don't recall there being too many activities in there, like experiments or anything, not experiments, but activities going through it. But perhaps I'm wrong, perhaps I ignored them. I don't know. But either way, it seems like it's definitely a table-focused activity, and there's and there's nothing wrong with that. Becca, let me go. Okay, so now we're into purple here. You see purple. Purple is, those are like all-in-ones. These are pretty much all-in-ones. So let's go. That doesn't mean you can't sub out and use your own math, okay? Just so you know, an all-in-one, usually you can use your own math because in the schedule, they're just like math. But let's go a Becca 1 and 2, A+. A Becca 1 and 2, A+, 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 A+. A Becca K, D. A Becca K, let's throw it out. Let us toss it into the trash because it is like $800 for one child. That's even without the videos. And the books are so flimsy, they're thinner than paper, if you can imagine. And it's very overwhelming. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It is intensive. It feels pretty intensive. Yeah. So I'm talking K5. They have a K4 and a K5, and I'm talking K5, and no, I do not like it. And it is possible to go ahead with a Becca and not do the K5. The only thing is teaching your child to read. They might be behind on a few things, but they'll catch up. I know because I'm doing a Becca for a lot of things. I'm eclectic. So I take the best of everything. Okay, so that's my rating. That's where it stands. I get it. I get it. People could disagree with me. I understand. But on my D category, I'm so entrenched into what I don't like. There's 3 programs that I like to think about that I don't like. Everything else, I feel like, oh yeah, or there's promise, or there's improvement. Those, no. Good luck with that. But if maybe you have one child, it's, you know what I mean? You could sit down, you have the time, your child will sit there and has the patience. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm sure it's a great program. Gentle and classical. Gentle and classical, we're going in B. However, only because the common thread that I hear from people is that it's good. It's just that there's a lot and that they're not ready for it. And the thing is the deep dive they do into, for example, oceans is so deep, you think that you're giving birth to an oceanographer. Like if your child came out of the womb and was like, I am ready to study the ocean and every part of it. You're like, great. Here, flotsam. Here's octopuses. Here's this. Just, whew, tons of stuff. So for that, I just think it's a little intensive, unless you really are into that subject matter. And some people just wait. You just put it off a year or 2 and go back at it and it's fine. What I do think they do, which is A+, and you could buy them separately, is I forget what they're called. They're like science cards, but they're for the ocean, and they're 3-part cards. So it's a picture. So for example, flotsam is trash from ships. So you see a picture of trash from ships. And then the first level is, hey, this is trash from ships. And as it gets older, it's got the definition expands. And as they get older, the definition expands. So their memory cards, I think, are great. I purchased a ton of their memory cards on their 40% off sale. And so I have quite a variety of them. And some I like and some I love. And some I wouldn't get again. But that's a different video. Kids, this is the only preschool program I have on here, and if you know, you are generally bombarded with preschool options. I like this one because it's taught by a preschool teacher. It's a 30-minute online video where you watch together, and then you can do a craft. So you meet the preschool teacher, and she teaches you, and then you can do a corresponding craft that is all printable, all ready to go. It's also free, so I will give that an A+, because, yeah, I think it's pretty good. All right, next up, we have Timberdoodle. Timberdoodle is what inspired me to create the homeschool shopping channel, because they have so many interesting products that you can do in games and things with your child. Now, I do think it's pricey. They do have, but they've taken the best of every program. That's what Timberdoodle is they take a little bit from this program for your language arts. We like this language arts curriculum. We like this math curriculum. And then they put a bunch of games in there and activities that are appropriate for your kid. And that's it. And that's what they charge. So you're looking at, it's pricey. But some of the stuff you only have to get once if you have a couple children, like a couple of the games that they recommend. They also have some games that you cannot get anywhere else but Timberdoodle. One of them being, I think, the Titanic game that I've showed you on the channel multiple times, the cat and dog game. Cat and dog game. So there's a few different games that I've shown you on the Homeschool Shopping channel, which is where I just go through products. I sit there and I'm like, hey, look at this. This is cool. Hey, this, stuff like that. And programs and curriculum. So Timberdoodle, we'll go A. It's A or B. It does have a lot of cool products, but it does take from other curriculums as well. So it's not like it's like, oh, they came up with this curriculum. Moving Beyond the Page is A+. Moving Beyond the Page is a curriculum that is touted for gifted children, but ADHD children do really well with it. My son who has autism does really well with it. It says moving beyond the page, but really you don't have to. You can just be on the page. They have some of the coolest worksheets I've ever seen. So for me, it was a field day. It's a little pricey, but you get 4 concepts they do it by age. They don't do it by level. So you get 4 concepts for the younger years. And so each concept is a book that covers a variety, almost all the topics you can think of, all the subjects you need to cover. However, you do need a math program and it won't teach you to read. They might have those separately on the website. I did not purchase that. I attempted to purchase those for kindergarten, but their website wasn't laid out clearly enough. So I just lost that opportunity, and I have half the materials for it. So I never really explored it. So I just don't think that's where it shines. But if you go and you purchase the 4 concepts, they're called concepts. It's really 4 books, for teacher's manual and 4 student manuals. They say it takes an hour a day. It does not. It takes about 5-10 minutes. That's not counting reading the books. Again, you cover a variety of topics and things that you didn't think about, which I've showed you a variety of time. I've showed you a ton on this channel. So that is A+. My Father's World, definitely A+. The book selections on My Father's World, A+. Whereas Moving Beyond the Page, some of them are a little wordy. Whereas My Father's World, they have great selections. I think they've made good choices. Not every choice is like the best book I've ever read, but they are good choices. So I definitely like My Father's World. I like how easy it is. It is not overwhelming when you open it and you read through everything. They have it into 3 sections. So I'm talking about the first section, which I think is discovery, and they have it's adventure. I can't remember. But anyway, My Father's World. I mean, if you're looking for an all-in-one, I say go for it. You can also, I believe you can choose your own phonics and you can choose your own math if you wanted to, if you didn't want to use theirs, although their math choice is also, it's a mastery, and I think that's great. 5 in a row. 5 in a row. 5 in a row goes, does it go A+? I don't know. A+. It depends what you like. I don't think it's a full curriculum, if you ask me. Some people would disagree, but it's very unschooling, very child-led. You pick it's got great books that you read. They're classic books, which means they're older, but they're still great books. They're still great books. As if they didn't make great books then. They did. So they're great books. And then you pick, it's got about 20 activities for the week based on that book, and you pick 5 based on the age of your child. So it's an excellent original concept. It does not cost a lot. You're just paying $45 for the curriculum for the year, and you can get the books at the library. So A+, might be A+, I don't know. But I just think you have to get a math program on top of it, and you have to get a reading program. Heart of Dakota, we'll go A+ with Heart of Dakota. It is a Christian program. It is very easy, and you can again get your own math and get your own phonics if you want, or you can use what they recommend. It is pricier because of the book selections that they choose are pricier, some of them, so it's not the cheapest curriculum, but it is an all-in-one book, easy to follow, and it's not hard to implement, and it doesn't take you a lot of time to implement it with your child. So I mean, I say A+. Fun Schooling is definitely another A+. Fun Schooling, completely child-led. So if you have a child that's independent, on their own, ready to go, knows what they want to study, knows what they want to learn, choose a book for them. Choose a theme. Do they like Minecraft? Do they like unicorns? Do they like space? Choose a theme, choose a book, and off they go. I do recommend it. It does have dyslexic type handwriting or font, so children do love that. And I do recommend that they know how to write or somewhat like drawing. If they were to do Fun Schooling, just because to fill in the notebook, that's kind of how they do it. Biblioplan. I love Biblioplan. However, you do not need to purchase everything they have, and they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that you don't need to purchase some stuff. I guess why would they? You don't need this, but we sell it. But one of the cool things Biblioplan has, besides the fact that history, I'm very picky about history, and I read an intense amount of history. We love history and we love geography in this house. I'm very picky about it. The reason I'm picky is because I think history could be super interesting, and I don't want you to F it up by telling boring stuff. So it's got to be age appropriate, and I think Biblioplan does a pretty good job of that. I think their book is entertaining, their book is interesting. I think that they sell this one product on it that you don't need. You need the text, and then they have the coolest books ever. So for ancient, for medieval, for modern, they have, each comes with a book that you don't have to get, but you can get, and get it. It's so cool. And it basically, it's a big solid book of activities and food from that era. And I just think it's just so cool. It's just so cool. Have I done any of them? No. But I have dreams of using it. So yeah, I love it. I think those books are great. So I'm going to give it an A+. But again, when I dive into Biblioplan, if there's anything you like here, I'm telling you, on my channel, I usually have a video on it. Because every day when I go through and I do a video, I again show some curriculum as well. Guest Hollows, History and Geography. I'm torn between A or A+, A or A+. They are very, I'll go, the price point, for example, for the 15, it was $12 or $15 for history, and you log in and it's almost like a DIY, except they've done everything for you. They have all the children's selections. They have all the middle-aged, the middle school selections for videos, for books, and so you can't beat that. So I do like Guest Hollows, and their geography, I did an entire video on it, and for the life of me, I can't remember it at the moment, but at the time I remember really liking it. So there you go. We have another geography one in here that I also really like. So we'll put it there, but it was between A and A+, so I might as well give it an A+. Curiosity Chronicles, we'll go A+. So it only talks about religion as it comes up in history. The chapters are not long. They're not told from a story perspective, but they are interesting because it has two kids learning about history together along with you. And so you can read one child and there's less reading for the other child, so a child could essentially read that. And it is interesting. It has the interesting points of history. So it doesn't go into dates, it doesn't have any of that stuff. And then you just read through it, and if you want additional books or anything like that, you can add on to that. So I just got the textbooks and I think they're great. Star Spangled Banner, we're gonna give that a B, only because it has beautiful pictures and I was super excited for it, only to be disappointed that it wasn't enough story. I feel like they could have done, instead of talking about this culture, they could have done it how Abeka does, which is you're a little boy in that culture. What's your life like? What is your day like? And so I think they had the opportunity to make it really interesting, and I don't think they made it that interesting. So we'll give it a B, but if I go through, because sometimes when I approach the curriculum again and I try it again and I go through it again, sometimes I have a different, this is a D, this is a D. Now, understand I'm very picky about history. Understand that I never played the game. So maybe the game makes this whole thing, maybe the game makes the good and the beautiful history like just the best ever. I don't know. However, I will say that it's a D for me. The reason it's a D is because I didn't find it chronological. And so I was just a little confused. But the monarchist in me, I was born in Canada. I live in the United States. I am a monarchist. So I do love the photos that they have of, I want to say, Queen Victoria in there. So that was great. But again, it's almost like their history book. They've gone through a bunch of history and just made it really small. And history, I don't know if it can be done like that just because there's so much of it. But at the same time, how do you do it? I get it. So just to me, no. It's just a no. But maybe they changed it. Maybe, I don't know. But no. Layers of Learning. Okay, for little kids, I would give it an A. Just because their book selections, they need just a bit more work on the picture book selections. This is based on only one unit. I did the Ancient China. I would buy more from them. But middle school and high school, their video selections and their book selections, go for it. Go for it. It's A+. It's A+ there, but because we're doing K through 2, that's the only reason I have it at an A. Price point $5.99. I almost think I should move it up because I'm going to move it up. The reason I'm going to move it up is because it's $5.99 and for the study unit, and you can get all of the units in history for $55, but for $5.99 you get a great unit but the book selections, the activities are great for kids of a variety of ages, but I just think their book selections, just for young kids, little kids. As I mentioned in other videos, there's a couple books on Ancient China for little kids that I would include, picture books that are super cool, that they didn't include. But that's just, again, so I still think due to price point and middle and upper, but it's almost like a DIY guidepost. It guides you through it, but I do like, I don't know, I like it. I do, for the price point. If you had paid more, Sunlight HBL. If I could separate their Bible, I would drop their Bible down in D. First of all, their name is Sonlight, Sonlight. You got a big reputation to hold up, and getting a book that is not age appropriate for children, it's just too old for little kids, for kindergarten and grade 1 and grade 2. And it's just their Bible program, thumbs down. Their history program, it's all right. It's all right. And their literature program, I would push them up, maybe just push it up to maybe an A, but the HBL, the Bible sinks it every time because honestly, it's between these two. That's how bad their Bible program is. If you ask me, I just expected more from a company called Sunlight, which maybe I shouldn't have given the fact that they're actually Bookshark. So that bothers me. It bothers me because I feel like you're pretending. And maybe I shouldn't feel that way, but they share a ton of the same curriculum, Bookshark and Sunlight. So like their science, I have Bookshark, Sunlight, Science. It's all the same. There may be like one book, not even in the science, but that's just me. I don't know why I'm defensive about that. So I apologize if you really like it. Okay, no, change my mind. Their kindergarten literature We're doing A. They are books that I would not have chosen, that my kindergartner loved. My grade 1 didn't like the kindergarten selections, but I'm telling you, he loved it. Their history selections are good, so I guess I could move it up to an A for those things. But the Bible sinks it every time. Okay, Torchlight. Because it's just a book they chose on Amazon. Torchlight, we're going A+. Torchlight has the best book selection I've ever seen. Torchlight, I don't like their science. They have selected an outside party of their science. I dropped their science into a B or a D. I don't like their science, and you'll see that when we get to science. But Torchlight, it is definitely not Christian because they deal with witches and warlocks and spells. I mean, I don't know about warlocks, but you have a spell book, and they just have such an interesting way to go about the curriculum. I loved it. I think it's great. And it's not expensive because literature programs generally aren't expensive because you still got to buy a phonics program, you still got to buy a math program, you still got to buy all the books. Yeah, and some of their books are not available, not always easy to get. But that's just an occasional book, and the majority of their books are very good. And that's all made up in my mind because the price point isn't high. On the Rock is a Christian, it's like a Bible thing. So this is not enough info. Under my photo, there is not enough info. Not enough info because I found their teacher's manual, so I just used the student manual, and most of this stuff is in the teacher's manual, and I haven't made my way through it that much because it just seemed like a lot of text. I know. I was like, oh, I'll do that later. Haven't done it. Waldock Way for grade 2 and up. I would say A+ for Waldock Way on the subjects. I would say grade 2 and up though. I don't think it's for grade 1 or kindergarten, but we have a few Waldock Way stuff, and she put a lot of effort into it, and her website is very good. She gives you a flip through so you see exactly what you're getting, and it's not that expensive. So I think she did a great job. Bonnie Rose Hudson, I will always give Bonnie Rose Hudson curriculum an A+ because it's my personal favorite. I just love it. I love it because it is aged appropriately. If it says grade 1, you bet it's for a grade 1. Yeah, I just like it. I've used quite a bit of her curriculum for that, and it usually always has a component of writing in it. It's practicing your handwriting, or she always has a couple different levels. So if your child can handwrite, if your child can't, if you different versions, you can get that for the same price point, so you don't have to pay extra for it. Now we are in free curriculums. Okay. Khan Academy Kids, I gotta give it's between an A and a B. Because it's free, I'll give it an A, but really it's a B in the sense that it's fine if your child's, hey, he's in kindergarten level on math and writing, or math and language arts. But if he's not, if he's ahead in math but behind in language arts, I don't find it very intuitive. So I don't mind them. I think it's great they do it because you know, anything I may have forgotten to touch, okay, teach or whatever, hey, go do 5 minutes of Khan Academy or 15 minutes of Khan Academy. So I do think it's good. It's amazing that it's free, but it's not that intuitive. Maybe they've changed it since then. I don't know, but I don't think it's very intuitive. Okay, easy peasy, not enough info because every time I've gotten to do it, I get intimidated. Well, I just don't like that everything's online. And so I would have to like teach my kid or sit with my kid to do it. Ambleside Online, I don't mind it, but again, not enough info because I just pick out, everything's online, you kind of got to piece it together. I like a downloadable curriculum. So core knowledge, downloadable curriculum, I would definitely say it's an A for the kindergartner because it's all printable. It's all in when you download it. It's got like the world, geography, stuff like that. I think it's great. As it gets older, it's online, and so you have to just sit there and read online. So I'm not exactly sure about that. I just have these left to do, sir. So science. Let's talk The Good and the Beautiful Science. I did a few units of them. I think they're good. Family style, good. Not bad. I have nothing to complain about them. Go Geography, A or A+. I think A+ because of the simplicity of it. You just sit through. It's got some really interesting videos that are in the curriculum. So she says do it on a laptop, so you just go through it on the laptop and then you click play, but it's not an intense amount of reading that you're doing. So unlike other ones that are fully on, like core knowledge, as you get older, it's really online, and like a lot of text. I don't like a lot of text for K through 2. I don't like it. I'm never going to like it. Sassafras series by Elemental Science. So Sassafras series, they're books that deal in the 5 different areas. They are very proudly secular if you go to their website, which is fine. It's fine. I do like the books. I think the books are good. I think they're great in itself. I didn't care for the additional elements that go with the Sassafras series by Elemental Science. That's just me personally, but I love the concept of books. The books are interesting enough. They're 2 students that they're brother and sister, they're twins, and they failed summer school. They failed science. So now for summer, they have to go stay with their uncle, and they have to go to a variety of different experiences in order to get their grade up. Okay, Blossom and Root, that is A+, that is a secular program. It's great because you pay the one price, $29, and you don't have to buy additional materials. It is not expected from you to have additional books. There are options, there are suggestions, but you don't have to do it. Has nature program, so it's A+, I think I'll leave it at that. Noeo Science, another A+. Everything is in your box. $200, I think. And everything is in your box for that subject, grade 1 through 3. They have a couple different subjects. So for example, physics, biology, chemistry, and it has some pretty interesting book selections. It's a very simple, straightforward lab book, curriculum, teacher's manual, very straightforward, not overwhelming, to the point, got good experiments, and their experiment kits are labeled correctly. I'm big into labeled correctly. If you go up here and you go right up to, just because I didn't mention it, it is Moving Beyond the Page. If you go to Moving Beyond the Page, that is the best materials box I've ever seen in my life. We're about to get to the worst one I've ever seen, but the best one I've ever seen is that, and labeled week by week, lesson by lesson, like wow. Noeo Science, also good, comes with the materials you need. I think it's just a great purchase if you ask me. Be Naturally Curious, I'm gonna put that in B, because I've only done 1 unit of theirs. First of all, I went to their website. It's recommended by Torchlight. I don't think it's that great. I went and did it, just the 1 unit. I picked out 1 unit just to try. One of the things I don't like is that they sold it cheaper on Amazon than on their own website. That I found a little irritating. And when I reached out to them to talk about it, I didn't get an email back. We went through and we did it. I just found that, first of all, they say it's a literature program. It's not a literature program. There's not really a story involved. When you say literature, that's a story. There's a story going on in there. There's not. So yeah, it's a B for me. Real Science for Kids, that's A+. That is one of my favorite curriculums ever. It teaches college-age concepts to kids in little, it's to the point, the experiments, they almost don't even have an experiment kit. You can get one, but you don't need it because the experiments are so simple and I could do them. And I'm not a fan of tracking down a lot of supplies, which is why my least favorite curriculum ever, if there's an F, I would put it on F. Now remember, I love some elements of Sunlight. I do not, for the life of me, like Sunlight and Bookshark. It's overwhelming. It's too intensive, and I have 4 years, so don't say that I haven't tried enough. Oh no, I've given it a fair shake. Ugh. Oh my goodness. They have student notes that you need, worksheets in the teacher's manual, in the paper packet, in the experiment book. So are you supposed to buy them all 3 times over if you got 3 kids? So that's not correct. Also, I love Usborne books. I swear I love Usborne books. They seem to have chosen my least favorite Usborne books ever. I do not need 55 pages on ants. No, if my child loves ants, I'll go to the store and get an ant book. So I wish that when they designed the curriculum, they said, hey, don't worry about doing because the book is this thick, the experiment book, your weekly book. Don't worry about doing every week. It's not necessary. I wish they had said that and made that clear. Instead, it's very intensive. There's just a lot of work to it. It's a lot of teacher prep. Oh my goodness. If you don't get the materials box for $79, which by the way, when you get it, I've shown you inside. It is the biggest hot mess you've ever seen. Except hot applies attractive. It's not attractive at all. It is this giant mess of stuff like you've never seen. And if you don't get that, where are you supposed to track down some of these miscellaneous parts? I'm in the United States of America. If I can't find it in America, there's no way that you're going to be able to get it in Germany, in the United Kingdom, in Canada. You're not going to be able to easily track down these a plastic tube. You know what I mean? Like, they're not that readily available. Like, you got to hit up Home Depot pretty hard, and then maybe an Ace Hardware or a Home Hardware or an OBI, depending on your country, more than once. So it is a fail on every single letter you can possibly fail on, which is too bad because I wanted to like it. I wanted to so badly, and I bought so many years of it, and I can't like it. I'm sorry if you like it. There are people out there that do like it. So don't get me wrong, there are people out there that they love it, their kids love it. Good on them. Good on them. I could not get it together to like it on any level. All right, there's my relaxed opinions. I hope you tune in more for my homeschool shopping channel videos where I show you products and curriculums and stuff like that, and try not to give you too much of an aggressive opinion. I try to be friendly and nice. Bye-bye. Can you say please like and subscribe?
Please like to like.
And hit the bell for notifications.
Hit the bell for notifications.